Hello everybody and welcome to Manchester City Football Club's very first Google Plus Hangout. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. I am Nicola McCarthy and I'm delighted to say I am joined by Mr. Patrick Vieira. Hello Patrick.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
We have fans tuning in today from all across the world and they will introduce themselves shortly. But just as a means of introduction, Patrick, if you could tell us just what you've been doing here at the club over the past year.
It was really difficult for me to find my way because I've been playing for quite a long time. And my job is really to spend time in every department to find out what is going out in the other side of the game.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a year now and I've been learning a lot. And it's still a really long way for me to go because, you know, before to decide what I really wanted to do, I need to understand really every objective of every department in a football club. So I'm spending time with them and try to learn. And it's quite really exciting.
And you've been very busy, I know, over the past year.
Yes, but I quite like it, you know, because when you've been busy for the last 15, 20 years, and I want to keep that momentum going. And thanks to the football club, because they keep me really busy and I like it.
And a great time, of course, to be involved with the club.
It is, and there's no better place for me to learn.
Yeah.
Because in the last 3 years, the football club has been grown up so fast and so quick.
Of course.
And we've been really successful outside and on the field. And I really enjoyed myself.
Fantastic. And as I say, we've got fans tuning in from all over the world. We've got a number of fans who have questions for Patrick, and we're going to introduce them one by one, and they will pose their questions to Patrick, who will answer their questions. So firstly, we have Carlos, who is coming to us today from Madrid. Hello, Carlos.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you today?
I'm fine. Everything good, thank you.
Good. Carlos, thank you very much for joining us. What is your question for Patrick?
Hello, Patrick. It's great to meet you. My question for you is, when I watch Yaya Toure playing, I'm really watching Patrick Vieira playing. So you think he's the new Patrick Vieira?
Good afternoon, Carlos. It's nice speaking to you. I take it as a compliment. I'm quite really happy because I believe that Yaya is one of the best players in Europe, and it's always good to be compared to a good player. But you know, when Yaya decided to join the club, I think the club went one step high because you live in Barcelona to come to Manchester City, and I think when you start signing players like Yaya Toure, you're fighting against the best, and that's just show where the club want to go. So I say that I believe that Yaya is more complete player than I used to be. I think Yaya is a better player going forward. I think he's scoring more goals, and I think technically is better than what I was. And I really like Yaya, and the way he started the season, I think that it's going to be a good season for us.
I think even in the game against Madrid, they even struggled to deal with Yaya.
He's so powerful. It's unbelievable. When we defend quite deep, there is so many space.
Yeah.
And when Yaya get the ball on his feet, he's making a big difference. And that's why when you play away from home, he's a kind of player you don't want to play against.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, moving on now. I know everybody's keen to get their questions in. So Martha, hello Martha.
Morning, Nicola. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning.
Good morning. Martha is joining us today from Missouri, so thank you very much, Martha. And if we could have your question for Patrick.
Sure. Patrick, you were talking about the transition you've made from player to suit over the past year or so, and I'm curious as to how that transition has affected your perspective on the game and what you've learned from sort of having this more external perspective now.
You know what? It was the first few months. Was really difficult because for 15, 20 years I was only concentrate about myself, how I can training every day to get better for the weekend. And to the position where I am now, I have to think about the other ones and myself coming second or sometimes third. So that was quite really difficult to adapt. But I'm surrounded by people who've got good experience, who got the knowledge of how to run a football club. And I'm spending time with people like Brian Marwood, who are really keen and try to make me understand what his objective is on his role, and I'm learning, and it's good, because I really don't know what I want to achieve. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know which way I want to. I don't know if I want to be in the business side or I want to be in the on the field. I just want to explore all the opportunity that the club give it to me.
Has there anything surprised you, Patrick, or anything that you didn't expect that you found out over this past year?
You know, since I retired, I know how people work really hard and dedicate to the players.
Yeah.
Because when you play, you don't know that.
Yeah.
So I think if you find out how people work so hard for you to be successful, for you to be at your best,
yeah,
as a player, you may have more respect for the people who are around the football club.
Yeah.
And I think that is the first few things I learned.
Great, great. Now we'll move slightly closer to home now. We have Mike, who is joining us from Kenilworth. Hello, Mike.
Hi, delighted to be here, Patrick and Nicola. As you probably see, I've still got the Union flag here, and just going over from the fantastic summer that we've had with London 2012 and the Olympics, I'm just wondering, in football's approach with Manchester City, whether the team, and I'm sure they have got an extra spring in their step, and how maybe everything's changed, you know, with the Olympics.
I think I don't know if everything will change, but I believe that football had a lot to learn from the Olympics, because it was such a positive event for the country, and even not the country but worldwide. And I think there is some positive to take from that. But our vision as a football club was always to conduct ourselves in the right way, and we believe in what we're doing, because I think in the last 3 years the plan of where the club want to be and want to go was really clear. And it was important for us, and it is really important for us to do it in the right way, playing by the rules. And we have a fantastic project. I believe we have a strong people who want to be successful. And now we just have to be patient, believe in what we're doing, and work hard.
Can I just finally congratulate France on its 79 medals for both Olympics and Paralympics?
Thank you very much. It was quite really good, because before the competition we didn't expect to be so successful, and I was really lucky, because I spent the Saturday, that was the day before the closing of the Olympics, and I went to the French camp, and the atmosphere was really good. People was really pleased. The players was the athletes was really proud, because they achieved the objectives.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. And staying in the UK rather, we have Trev from Bradford. Hello, Trev.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi, Trev.
Thank you very much for joining us, Trev. And what would you like to ask Patrick today?
I just want to ask what the development program is for the young players at Manchester City.
But we know that football change, and as a club, what we really look in the next few years is try to bring young players through to the academy and play for the first team. And last year and the years to come, our focus will be in that department, because we want to give a Manchester boys, or the boys in the UK around, or kids from all around the world, to come to City and enjoy the academy and be successful. And we know how in Manchester the talent, we've got some really young talent in Manchester, and it's really important that we make some young players coming through and play for our first team, because I think it's really important for our fans as well to identify themselves with the players.
Absolutely, and of course with the new plans revealed for the City Football Academy, Patrick, we saw that last week, and some incredible developments on the way.
It's really exciting, and when you look at the project, you want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you are young, you want to develop yourself, you want to play for the best club, and you're looking for the facilities, and this is one of the best in the world. And that will give the youth the opportunity to improve themselves, to challenge themselves. And what is really exciting is that everybody at the football club will be together. And I think for the young players to be not too close but not too far with the first team will always give them that kind of inspiration that they need.
Absolutely. And to Leo, I know your question leads on into the CFA, the City Football Academy. Leo joins us from Finland today. Hello, Leo.
Hello, Nicola and Patrick. It's an honor to meet you.
Hello.
Nice of you to join us, Leo. And I know, as I say, your question relates to that. What would you like to ask Patrick?
Well, as you already said, I kind of already had an answer on my question, but my question was going to be, how big of an impact do you believe the Manchester City Football Academy is going to be for the club and the city?
But for the city, it will be a really big one, because that project it will create jobs for the community, and I think that's really important, because the community and Manchester City go way back together. We've been really close to our community, and our community is part of the football club, and it will be a part of the academy that the community can use, and I think that's really good. I think that shows how the link with them is so strong. But and for the youth is really good, because if you want to sign a young player, when you show him the academy, he's talk by himself. He show that we are committed to the youth development, and if young players come in to Manchester City with the facility we will have in a few years, I think that will give him all a chance to be part in our first team. Of course, that is just a step, because the hard work and the commitment and the hunger of himself to be successful will be a big part of it.
Absolutely, and as you say, Patrick, to have everybody in the one space, just it adds a great momentum really to the club. Of
course, I think it's always important to be all in the same site, and I think it's important that the people who are working at the football club and maybe not getting involved in the day of the game to feel like they're part of something really special.
Exactly.
And I think everybody will work for Manchester City will benefit of the facilities.
Absolutely, and of course we very much look forward to those developments. So if we can now go back, I know you all have another question or two each you would like to ask Patrick. So if we could go back to Carlos.
Yes.
Carlos, have you another question you would like to ask?
My second question is about another player of your squad, David Silva. And is he the kind of player that can take the team to a next level? Meaning that you are now a favorite for the Champions League title. You feel favorites for the Champions League title this season?
First, I'm quite really happy that David signed a new contract. I think that just shows how it's important to keep our best player. I don't know if you are a favorite for the Champions League. To be honest, I don't think so, because to be favorite, you have to that came with experience as well, and you have players, team like Madrid, Barcelona, United, who are every year in the Champions League, so they get that experience that we don't have yet. But when you look at the way Chelsea win the Champions League last year, so that gives you a hope and that give you a chance and give you belief. And the second thing is that when you look at our player, you say why not? But it will take more than that to win the Champions League. But I believe that we are strong enough to challenge everybody, like we show when we play against Madrid in the first game. Anything can happen in football, and I think that is the beauty of our game. That's why we love the game. And talking about David Silva is, I think, he's a fantastic player. I really enjoy watching him play. He physically not the best and the biggest player, but his technique and his brain is faster than anybody else. And what a fantastic player to have in a football club.
Absolutely, and I know you were in Madrid. Just what were your thoughts when you returned home, when you reflected on City's performance, Patrick?
I think I do understand players who get frustrated because they didn't win the game, or they didn't get even at least a point, because you know, when you're winning 2-1 and there's 5 minutes to go, you believe that you can win the game. And I do understand players are really disappointed. But, you know, when you think about the way we play in Madrid against Real de Madrid, we can be really proud. And I think the players make the football club and the fan really proud because they play really well. And when I was talking about learning process, and I think the game in Madrid will make us better as a team for the next few games we'll have to play.
Absolutely. Okay, Martha, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Great. Martha, if you've another question you would like to ask Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick, I'm a huge Inter Milan fan, and I would love to hear you talk a little bit about your memories of your time in Italy, with Inter particularly, but if it must be with Juve, you can talk about them as well.
You'll allow him.
No, I really enjoyed my time in Italy. It was really good. I left Arsenal when I was 29, but I was in AC Milan when I was 19, and that is when I really start to understand that football is a job. In Italy, they are, you know, you're going to work, you're going to prepare yourself for the weekend. So every day is, you get 100% focus. Mm-hmm. You have to look after yourself. That is where the year I spent in AC Milan was really important, and I think that's really helped me a lot. Even though I didn't play a lot, but yes, that helped me to be a professional player. That mm-hmm. really helped me to understand what football was about.
Okay. And
I think if I had a really good career, is because I think the year I spent in AC really prepared me as a man, as a professional as well. The vision of how I have to conduct to prepare myself to be successful. And Juventus was a fantastic experience, and it was quite sad because I just stayed a year there because of what people knows, and I left to Inter. But the year I spent in Juventus was one of the best atmosphere that I ever been to. I still are really in contact with most of the players.
Right.
I was there on Thursday.
Right.
And I was there on Wednesday. We played Tuesday. Wednesday I was there, and I spent the day with Pesotto, who was one of the Juventus players. Yeah. And it's always good to go back to Italy. I really enjoyed my time there.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on now, Mike, if you have another question.
Yes, please. I'm just wondering what Patrick Vieira does in a normal working week, and whether there's, you know, maybe too much travel, and even if video hangouts like this might be able to help with that, maybe.
Good question.
Let's talk about the last week. It was quite a busy week because I traveled with the team on Monday for the Champions League on Tuesday. So on the Wednesday morning, I was in Italy to watch Juventus EDS game against Paris Saint-Germain. And I came back to Manchester on the Thursday morning, and the Friday morning I flew to Sweden to watch a game as well. And I just came back yesterday. So it was quite a busy week. But it will not going to be like that all the time. I will say it will be like that once a month. But I like to spend time with the academy as well, because on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, sorry. I like to spend these 2 days with the academy and be part of the training with the youth, and sometimes it can be really busy. Yeah.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Good to enjoy, I'm sure, the travel as well, and
yeah, it's always good to travel because that gives you the opportunity to see what's going around in a different country, in a different football club, what you can do to improve yourself, and I think what is really good is that we want to learn, and the club want to learn as well. And I think if you want to do something really good and the best, you have to go around and see what the other one's doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way you can improve as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, Trev, if you have another question for Patrick.
Yeah. Just a personal question, really. Do you miss playing professionally?
To be honest, no, I didn't. And I think it's quite when I'm talking to people and I tell them that I'm not miss playing football at all, They don't believe me, but it's true.
I don't believe you.
But it's true, I don't miss it at all. It's the fact that because I stopped at the right way, because the end of my career was quite really difficult with physically. I was getting injured quite often. I wasn't playing so many games, and I think the only games that I was involved when I was playing, it was really difficult for me to accept not winning tackles anymore. I couldn't accept not winning the balls.
Yeah.
And I think you get a time where you have to be honest with yourself, and you said, "Oh, it's time for me to retire."
Yeah.
And it was a really good decision. And I still play football, but with the old players, you know, people who can't run anymore.
So if you were offered a centre midfield role against Madrid, you wouldn't have taken it?
No. But if you offer me a game against the 11 All-Star Madrid games, I will say yes, I will take it.
Great, thank you. To Leo, if you have another question?
Yes, please, I do. Patrick, what do you think of the club's newest players, such as Rodwell, Garcia, and Sinclair?
I think they are young and overall really talented, because when you look at the players who joined us, they are young and really talented, and this is what the club is all about, is how can we prepare for years to come, and these kind of players will play for Manchester City for so many years. And they are young, they are talented, and they want to progress, and I think bringing these kind of players improve always the club.
Okay, thank you to Leo.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah.
Patrick, I know the guys have other questions, but just if we could diverge a little. I know we've talked a lot about the club and football, but I know that you do a lot of charity work, and I know that's something you're very passionate about. I wondered if you wanted to share that with everybody?
Yeah, I think I'm being really lucky, because I believe that football gives me a lot. And I think if I learn English and Italian and learn the English culture, the Italian culture, I've been traveling all around the world. It was a fantastic education, football, for me, and I just want to give it back, and especially in Africa, where I grew up, where the facilities are not the best, and with some ex-football players like Bernard Lama, Jimmy Ajibiboko, and one ex-player who used to play in Senegal called Saher Sek. We create this institute called John Barts, and where we're using football to promote the education, and we have got 150 kids that we take care and we look after. We build the facilities for them to try to achieve their dream.
Yeah.
And education is a really big part of it, because we want them to be successful, to be a good players, but we want them to be a good human being, a good person as well.
Yeah.
But on the other side, we know how difficult it is to be a football player, because you need luck, you need the small things to make the difference, and not so many people can do it.
Yeah.
So we try to make them understand that there's another life outside football, that they can be a teacher, they can be a journalist, and we try to make their mind open, so they will choose other things to do than just play football. And so far we've been really successful. We opened a second John Bars in South Africa, not too far from Johannesburg.
Okay.
And our objective is to have one of these John Bars institutes in every country in Africa.
Right.
So it's a long way, it's a hard work, and any help we can have from anybody will be welcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And obviously football is such a universal thing. I mean, we've got our guests here from around the world, and it's a powerful thing, really, isn't it? It
is a powerful thing, and I believe that football is such a powerful tool to use regarding the development and the education.
Yeah.
And I believe that we don't do enough. So it's our responsibility as a football club, as an ex-player, as a UEFA, the body of football, to do more than what we're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, we can see on the clock here, we've just got under 5 minutes left, guys. I know you have some more questions. I don't know how to choose or who to choose. So would any one of you like to just ask another question?
I'd love to know, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say something. I put something in my Google Plus stream, Patrick, and I said, would anybody like to ask Patrick a question? As a gentleman, I'm so apologies, I can't remember his name, said, actually, no, I don't want to ask Patrick Vieira a question. All I want to say is thank you for everything that you've given, your career and, the pleasure to my life. And that's what this gentleman said.
Oh, that's a really, really nice. That's a lovely compliment and nice message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, for bringing that to us. Martha, would you like to go ahead with your question?
Yeah, this must be when your current employers face Arsenal. It must be particularly tough for you, Patrick. How do you handle these game days twice a season?
The best way is to switch off all the mobile phones, so no calls. But during the day of the game is quite really difficult because I spent 9 years at Arsenal, and it was 9 fantastic years. This football club gave me a lot, and now you just have to be a professional. You just have to deal with it. But I still hope that we're gonna play as City. Play really well and win the game. It's like when the game will be over, I will be still a big Arsenal fan. I will watch them play. I will want to find out how the players and the team is doing, because Arsenal always going to be the part of myself, and that will never going to change.
Yeah, and we really do have a very big game here at the stadium today. I'm sure you're looking forward to the football that will be on display.
Yeah, it is a big game for both clubs, especially at the start of the season like that, and it is a first big game, I will say, for both clubs, and it's always important to start this kind of game and try to send the positive message.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it because Arsenal start really well the league. Yeah. They can score goals. There's a really strong team who play one of the nicest football in the Premier League, but we are there, and winning the league last year, the pressure is really going to be higher, but the way the team play against Madrid, I think, is really exciting.
Absolutely, and of course, I'm sure we're all looking forward to that game. Okay, I think we have time to squeeze one final question in. So if anybody has a very quick question, I think we can finish on that.
Patrick, what's your bet for today? Give us a result.
Oh.
I will give you my own things, but I hope you will not going to bet on that one, though. Or if you won, and you just have to share it 50-50. But I think it's going to be a few goals in the game, because when you look at Arsenal, the way they play and the number of chances they create and the number of goals they scored, and the same in our team, I hope City will win 3-2. That I think would be a good game.
Another 3-2?
Another 3-2, but in our way then. In our way this time. And Vince and company will not going to be happy, because we're going to concede against goals, and he's never happy when we concede too many goals. But winning will be really important. But 3-1, I will say, maybe.
Okay, change it up a little. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And of course, a lot of new players. Arsenal have signed quite a few new players. I know a few also left, and obviously City had a very busy day on the last day of the transfer window. So quite a few new players, hopefully, on the pitch today as well.
Yeah, when you look at Arsenal, the new players look like they set it up really quick and really well. And I think that make it really exciting for the game today. And the same in ourselves, when you look at the way that the new signing play against Madrid, that's really good. And I think, when the players come into a club, you need the help from other players. And that is just show how important it is, the role of players who have been at the club for quite a long time, to welcome them and to make them feel like at home already. Because early you feel like you're at home, and early you can express yourself and you play your best. And that is a lot of credit from the current players been at the club for a long time.
Fantastic. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today. We're delighted to have you. Thank you to our guests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, across the world. It's been great. I've had a great time. So has Patrick. And we can join us again for more exclusive Man City Google Plus Hangouts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.